Hi guys, it's Danny. Okay, so here's an ID video for you guys of an orchid that you might already know, but I've never made a separate video for her. This is the Colmenera or Oncostelle Catatante Pacific Sunspots, and it's a beautiful rusty orange colored orchid, as you can see. You can find the full parentage of this orchid in the description of the video. Now, one of its parents is actually the Colmenera or Oncostelle Wildcat, and in my opinion, that orchid is the most vigorous Oncidium hybrid or Oncidium intergeneric, or whatever you want to call it, that you can actually find out there. It is just so resilient, so adaptable to any condition in your home, so good with handling low humidity and so on. I cannot say more good things about the Wildcats than I already did, and the best thing is they come in a very wide variety. So if you're a beginner with Oncidiums and Oncidium intergenerics, do go for the Colmenera Wildcats, whatever one you like best, and you won't really regret it. Being that this is a Wildcat hybrid, this particular orchid is indeed very vigorous, grows very well for me. It can adapt to a wide range of environments. It can withstand low temperatures and high temperatures. Everything is just so easy with this orchid, and when it blooms, it is just a spectacular show. I'll show you a close-up of the flowers so you can see better. Now, these flowers, as pretty as they're not fragrant, and I've noticed that with most Colmeneras or Wildcats in general, they do have a sort of a plasticky smell to them. It's really not appealing to me. I'm not a fan, but you might be, who knows. The good thing about it is that it's not intense. You can actually feel it if you're very, very close to the flower, or you actually smell the flower, so it will not really stink up any room. But other than that, it is just a beautiful display of flowers. And like all Wildcats, it can actually produce a really tall flower spike full of branches and little flowers. And of course, the better you care for this orchid, the better the blooms will be. I do not complain with the flower spikes that I got this year. I did have another flower spike earlier this year or later last year, I don't remember. It was quite tiny and puny, but the orchid decided to throw off another flower spike from the same pseudobulb, which is better and grander. So as you can see, the flower display this year is pretty awesome on this orchid. Now, the pseudobulbs, just like the Wildcats, are not tiny. Hopefully you can see here how big they can get with proper care and, of course, with age. This is, of course, not a space saver. It is a tall orchid, as you can see. The flower spikes are tall as well. I never actually measured them, so I don't know. I cannot really give you a measure, but they are indeed as long as my arm if I were to measure them. So it is not a space saver. You do need quite a lot of space for this orchid. And of course, it has the tendency to lean over. This is why you kind of need to shape the pseudobulbs as they grow. I'll actually make a video on that. I didn't, and it doesn't look too pretty, all slanted on one side, but I know better right now. Another thing that I've discovered with Colmeneras and their hybrids is that they can get quite a little bit of spotting on the leaves. So this is an example. It's not very spotted, but I do have another Colmenera Wildcat here. Hopefully you can see here and here a few spots on the leaves. This is quite normal. All my Colmeneras actually had these spots. They do not spread. They do not take over any other leaf. They just stay there. They don't do anything. They don't show up on virus test kits. They're okay. And actually, some orchids naturally have some spotting on the leaves. Sometimes through hybridization, you can obtain some spottings on the leaves, and that's quite normal. So if you have a Colmenera or a Wildcat hybrid with some spotting on the leaves that don't really seem to do anything, don't spread, don't get larger and so on, the orchid is healthy, blooms, has a nice root system, most probably you shouldn't worry about it. All my Colmeneras that I ever had these spots, so I think that's pretty normal. So okay, this was the video on the Pacific Sunspots. It is a beautiful orchid to keep. It's very showy, very easy to keep actually, especially if you don't have too much experience with Oncidiums. Definitely start with a Colmenera Wildcat or its hybrids, and this is one of its hybrids that is absolutely vigorous. Blooms well, it is hardy, it can adapt to your environment pretty well. If you know the basic care regime for an Oncidium orchid, you can do very well with this orchid, and I bet it will be very forgiving if you make a few mistakes. So I can definitely recommend this particular cross to any beginner out there who wants to try out Oncidiums, especially if you've never had Oncidiums. Alrighty, thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos from me, don't forget to subscribe. You can leave me questions and suggestions for videos in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you. And if you just want to stay in touch with me and view some pictures of my orchids, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for joining once again. I will see you next time. Bye bye.